Namaste. I can say that now. That's an amazing build-up. I really hope I can live up to the expectation you've now got about my wisdom and guru-like knowledge. I've just come from a fantastic meeting up in Hyderabad, where we recently, just last night, launched up there our new hematology range. And there was 350 or more pathologists and fellow lab professionals who were attending. And the energy was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it in my whole professional life. So it's a very, very exciting time to be with the group. And it's also really a great privilege for me today to be invited here to speak briefly on some thoughts on the automation of hematology, which we've had. So I'll take you through those very quickly today. So laboratory automation, I mean, it's been around a long time. Most diagnostic processes involve laboratory input of some kind. So labs are needed. Labs need to be efficient. The market's driving the need for machines to be more higher performing, because you need to be higher performing in your industry as well. A marked increase in number of complete blood counts requests has driven suppliers to provide more automated solutions, right? And so everyone's come from the same base. We've all had repetitive strain injury by using pipettes, sometime in our life probably. They're very slow. They have a high CV per assay. There are significant user variations, as we all know. And they have sample size issues, so you can't really scale up a manual method. So well known, and this led to all kinds of developments. And semi-automation was the first staging post of that, where all of the really basic manual processes were automated or semi-automated, but you still required multiple steps to report what would now be considered a complete blood count. And you can see a picture there of one of the original, very early Coulter counters back in the mid-60s of someone just using that machine to make the first few steps. And then, much like we just heard from Mrs. Vazirani, that the journey that Transasia has taken has been quite miraculous. And the first semi-automatic device that they built back in the 1990s, so what, 20, 25 years after the first Coulter machine was used, was developed here and used in this country. Then shortly after that, the CE mark was given to the device, which meant it could now be exported. So suddenly India is now exporting these wonderful devices to the rest of the world, which is great. And then back in 2002, Erbe Mannheim was established in Europe through acquiring a German organization, and then the first fully automatic device was developed. And then on the right-hand side, they can see a very rapid expansion of the capabilities of the group, becoming the largest IVD company in India, beating the global number ones. This is a real David and Goliath story. I'd put my money on David any day. More subsidiaries have been bought, Czech Republic, USA, Turkey. Some R&D capability has been bought in Europe, so we have a huge presence of R&D in Europe now, where we can use that knowledge to then make systems which are relevant for emerging markets. We're totally focused on serving the emerging market needs. It's unique amongst the big world players. Only to very recently we opened an office in London, so I work in the office in London, only opened about a year ago. And last year we also opened some new offices in Vietnam, Thailand, and Brazil. So you're seeing a very expanding group very quickly. Great history. So we then come to the present day, where we've launched some fully automatic systems, and so you get a single aspiration, full blood count comes out, in less than a minute, which is absolutely great. Also out there today, you can obviously get auto-staining stations, you can get auto-slide preparation, so trying to kind of assemble together all the manual ways that still predominate in hematology preparation, and even up to some of today's systems where you can get artificial intelligence-based reviews. So all these things are happening out there. But what does the future hold? I think it depends really on your perspective. You can see on the cartoon, the man on the island thinks the only thing he dreams about is a boat. And the guy in the boat, the only thing he dreams about is an island, right? So it depends which way around you look. Is it the number of samples per day that you're facing the biggest challenge with? Is it a percentage of abnormals? Do you live in an area where you have just many more abnormals? Is that your key challenge? What's the plans of your lab? Are you looking to expand? Are you looking to become the central lab and so on? So all kinds of things influence exactly what you need. It could be from getting the laboratory's first 5-part differential system to maybe starting to add retic and platelet measurements while still getting a reasonable amount of processing. And it could be right up to taking over the entire pathology needs of a whole city. It depends very much on the speed of concentration of resources. How fast are things consolidating in your area? It's very different across the whole world. As I travel from country to country, I see in Western countries a lot of consolidation happen. I see in emerging markets still a lot of individual labs still existing. So the speed of that consolidation is variable, but you have to be able to give solutions depending upon where you are on that trajectory, right? But the basic principles remain the same, I think. You need increasing efficiency. That means you have to streamline the workflow. You have to have increased capacity, higher sample loads. Everyone's going to get more tests. Screening is going to go up. Everything's going to go up. You need decreased turnaround time because the ultimate destination here is not a pile of data. The ultimate destination is a diagnosis for a patient who is sitting worried in a waiting room or worried in a home room, wondering what the doctor is going to say to him or her. Increasing quality and decreasing costs are absolute classics in today's market. And so within that, I think operational efficiencies stand out as being one of the main areas that automation will focus on. I think more efficient staff utilization is an absolute must. I think reduction in manual microscopic examinations. I say reduction, I don't mean elimination. We have developed an automatic system for urine analysis. Interesting to hear the last speaker talk about that. And these systems are very good for telling you when it's not normal, but they can't tell you exactly how not normal it is. So this depends very much on the teaching set and the algorithms they're using and so on. So these systems will allow you to say whether it is normal or not, but then the type of abnormality is still very much a human skill. The visual cortex is a very, very large computer to try and copy in a sort of short space of time we have for these algorithms. Increasing statistics and revenue, very, very important to give the result and not just a pile of data. And one of the things that automation can really give, I think, is quality through standardization. This is an interesting observation a few years ago by Patra, I think it was 2013 or 14. And he observed that something like half of the errors are pre-analytical. So there's something that automation can do about that. Incorrect analysis ordered, nothing can be done with that. That's not an automation issue. Ordered the test not marked or the incorrect test requested. All these things are human errors. They're not machine errors. So there's a certain amount can be done pre-analytically, but I still think there's a lot of human errors involved in that, which we have to tackle at a system level. Where I think the automation that we can deal with as manufacturers of these devices is to handle the analytical errors and then post-analytical errors. Those are areas I think we can focus on, and so by getting our understanding of those errors more clear, we can then build in capabilities in the systems to help eliminate them. So these are areas we'll be focusing on in the future, I think. And then quality through standardization happens almost automatically. So reduced variation in interpretation between staff is key. A lot of cell image systems are out there. As I said to you, we're investing in automation in that area as well. We have urinalysis, which does cell imaging. It's very good at telling you what the normals are, but not so good at telling you exactly which abnormals you have. You still need skilled scientists to help identify those, but we can help cut out all the normals that you wouldn't otherwise have to plow through. Post-analytical workflow rule sets are important. Control of downstream testing. You can determine which test is the next stop based upon the previous test, which is something that's really interesting, I think, to develop from an efficiency perspective. And advanced middleware. So taking together all this big data that you're gathering and making some sense of it. There's middleware is going to be required to help with all that. And we're developing capabilities in that area as well, because we realize that's a huge area of importance. So what are the keys to success? Number one, keep focus on the patient's needs. You absolutely have to keep thinking about that patient sitting on the bed with the family, sitting at home, waiting for that diagnosis to arrive. And every day we get up and we think about how can we speed that process up? How can we make that diagnosis, help you make that diagnosis more accurate over time? Planning for the future, a sensible investment. I mean, this is quite a capital-intensive thing we're talking about. So how can we automate without huge scale? There's many labs that are in medium scale or even small scale, but who really benefit from automation. So we are thinking a lot about how we can address those labs and help you gain automation, but without having to put in a really large, huge, expensive, heavy system. Those are the things that our scientists and engineers are thinking about every single day. And of course, a lot of that is driven by the reimbursement trends. Exactly, how is the money driving this in the marketplace? How can you get money enough to invest in these kind of systems that we can help develop for you? So those are our kind of thoughts. It's been great having a chance to speak to you. If any of you would like to discuss any of these with us or anything else, please come to the booth. We are in the exhibition hall right now. So thanks very much indeed, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you.